going to be the next president of the United States.
It's now official. Joe Biden will become the 46th president of the United States. So what does this mean for other world leaders? This video will focus on the usual suspects.
India's friend, the President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump.
Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia, he bet huge money on Donald Trump's re-election. We know this as MBS gave his approval to the decision by his Emirati counterpart, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, to sign a peace deal with the Arab world's arch-enemy, Israel. With the Joe Biden presidency, the Saudi position, which came at a cost of offending billions of Muslims globally, makes bin Salman look extremely isolated and feeble.
Mr. Vice President, the CIA has concluded that the leader of Saudi Arabia directed the murder of U.S.-based journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The State Department also says the Saudi government is responsible for executing nonviolent offenders and for torture. President Trump has not punished senior Saudi leaders. Would you?
Yes, and I said it at the time. Khashoggi was in fact murdered and dismembered, and I believe in the order of the Crown Prince. And I would make it very clear, we were not going to, in fact, sell more weapons to them. We were going to, in fact, make them pay the price and make them, in fact, the pariah that they are.
Saudi Arabia's disgusting human rights record, its dealing in Yemen and hindrance in the region are likely to cause tensions. Most analysts have already stated the Joe Biden regime isn't looking to invest that heavily in Western Asia either, hence why Biden has stated they won't be selling weapons to Saudi Arabia. Prime Minister Netanyahu doesn't need to worry much. US taxpayers will continue to donate to Israel. Biden describes himself as a Zionist, but Netanyahu wouldn't win any extra political points because under Biden, it appears there are priorities to soothe tensions with Iran through entering the nuclear accord while keeping Israel happy.
And find a way to avoid the onrush of war. And the best way to do that, of course, would be for President Trump to rejoin the Iran deal and build on it. If Iran moves back in compliance with the obligations and reestablishes international consensus about how to confront these threats in Iran, we'll be much, much better off. The only way out of this crisis is through diplomacy.
But I doubt Iran would be interested in any agreement on the nuclear issue. Not for now anyway, especially if an agreement involves curtailing resistant forces in the region. Trump only managed to get the Arab leaders and Netanyahu together through common enmity against Iran. Therefore, a Biden presidency may show holes in Netanyahu's diplomatic abilities. I have a feeling there's going to be another election in Israel soon. President Erdogan, he worked his magic on Trump rather well. He started testing the S-400, a Russian-made air defense system, prior to the US elections, something which the United States isn't too happy about. High-ranking officials in the United States have warned that the use of the advanced Russian radar technology could compromise NATO's military systems and could potentially be used to target NATO jets inside Turkey, including the F-35. But Erdogan went ahead and tested anyway.
I'm very concerned about it, but I'm still of the view that if we were to engage more directly like I was doing with them, that we can support those elements of the Turkish leadership that still exist and get more from them and embolden them to be able to take on and defeat Erdogan, not by a coup, but by the electoral process.
It's quite clear, under a Biden presidency, it's likely that there will be sanctions against Turkey for the Russian-made S-400 missile system. These sanctions were effectively blocked by President Trump. Narendra Damodar Modi, the Prime Minister of India, Modi has been accused of discriminating against minorities in India. He's a nationalist leader who thrives on radical religious elements in the country. When Trump visited Delhi, there were anti-Muslim riots, which Trump was pressed to confront. However, it didn't materialize. Under Trump, Modi received a free pass. Currently, India's growth in 2020 is set to slip below several emerging economies in Asia, including Bangladesh, Indonesia, Bhutan, Philippines, and Sri Lanka, amongst others. Modi was a great pair for Donald Trump, an attack dog against China. However, it appears it's time to put the dog down. I say this because the Indian economy is struggling. Poverty has skyrocketed under Modi. The toilets that Narendra Modi promised Indians a few years back haven't materialized. They're still crapping in the streets. India desperately needs the money and is relying on Biden to expand the H-1B visa, most often used by Indian and Chinese companies, and are generally approved for a period of 3 years for a person. If the visa were to be extended, it could bring some serious cash injections into the failing Indian economy. But I think this is highly unlikely under Biden. The American economy is under strain because of the pandemic. With over 30 million people searching for jobs, it doesn't make sense to extend the foreign workers program. Priority would be the American people, or should be rather.